Okay.
Thank you all for coming. Mine's Kassidy. My speech class asked us to pick a subculture or a culture that we didn't participate in, but that we could research and we can explain. I decided to pick Wicca because it's close to Halloween and I just wanted to get a little bit more into the spirit. So not a lot of people know what Wicca is. When you think witches, you think Harry Potter, you think green face, crooked nose, warts, stuff like that. But Wicca tends to actually be a more nature-based religion. It's not evil, it's not as negative dynamic, it's more nature-based, it predates Christianity. And it tends to draw most of its teachings from the elements, from the moon cycles and the harvests. And it tends to re-enhance the Celtic beliefs. So, Wicca is actually Scots English for wise people. And Joe Gardner brought Wicca over to the United States, so he's considered the founder of it over here. In 1939, he went over to Britain and he joined his first coven and he was taught all of the magic that he knew and the spells and incantations and everything like that. And then he came back over to the United States in 1946 and he reintroduced it to our culture. He first brought up the name Wicca in 1945 and he introduced what we knew as Wiccan. And then in the 1960s, it changed from basic magic beliefs with British heritage to a nature environmentalist spiritual movement. It featured mostly females because they were looking for a more feminine dynamic, but as they got into religion, it was just as male-based as it was female-based. Now, I want to compare Wicca to Christianity just so y'all have a little bit more of a basic understanding what it is. With Christianity, you have God. With Wicca, you have multiple deities, but you have Mother Goddess and the Horn God as the two basic. You want to have basic balance in the system. And whereas God, you have the Holy Spirit inside of everything, Wiccans pull energy from Earth. They believe that Mother Goddess and the Horn God and other deities inhabit everything around us. The soil, the sun, the moon, so on. With Christianity, you have the Bible. With Wicca, you have the Book of Shadows. The Book of Shadows is personal to each person in the coven. It's not based in one group, it's not one book. When you join a coven, they have their Book of Shadows, and you're supposed to create your own off of it. It's whatever personal comes to you, the kind of culture, the kind of spells that you believe in, the kind of energy you want to give off. It's all of that balance dynamic. And now I want to talk about how it influences American culture. Wait, no. I want to talk about the holidays. In Christianity, you have Christmas and you have Easter. In Wicca, you have 4 major holidays based around the harvest moon phases. You have Yule, which is the winter solstice. You have Ulster, which is in the spring. Then you have Midsummer. And you have Maiden. Then you have 4 minor holidays, which includes All Hallows Eve or Halloween. So they're busy all year round. Now I want to talk about the influences in the United States. When you think witches, you think negativity, you think devil worshiping. There's a lot of misconceptions with Wicca. With Wicca isn't devil worshiping. Wicca is pulling power, as you might say, from the elements. They have a lot of incantations for protection. They have a lot of good fortune spells. What you hear naturally is when someone takes Wicca and wants to use it against somebody. You have the negative imbalance as well as the positive. You have to balance it. That's what all Wicca is. You have to have the positive with the negative. There's never always going to be good, good, good. You have to have it equal. You think animal sacrifices. Wicca doesn't sacrifice animals. Negative don't even call for it. With Wicca, they use herbs, they use plants, they use rocks, they use elements that you can find naturally in the earth without having to sacrifice anything. You think spells, you think potions, you think wands, you think poof, you have $1 million. That's not how it works. Mostly what Wicca is used for is protection, enhancement. It's sort of what you're looking for, like nirvana, kind of. You want that equal balance of everything. In 1990, there was a study done, and only there was 340,000 people that would openly admit that they're Wiccan. From 1990 to 2008, it has jumped from 340,000 to 1 to 1.5 million. So there's many more people that study it now. And that study was done by Trinity College with the with the study that was, the 2008 study was done by Trinity College, and the 1990 study was done by a separate university. I've covered what Wicca is. I've based it in the understanding, based it off of Christianity, so it's a little base reference, and I've said the misconceptions and the influence it has in the United States. We have witches in the community. Like, that's the top second religion in Spring Hill. We have Christianity, then we have Wicca. Witches all around us, and they just don't want to turn you into toast rolls. Thank y'all.